Fox Sports.
We are Fox Sports. We are LA.
It's been a tough weekend here in North Texas as the Angels have dropped the first two against the Texas Rangers, and prior to the All-Star break, they're trying to pick up a victory before those 4 magical days off. It's a finale of the 3-game set against the Texas Rangers. We welcome you inside Globe Life Park and back to Angels baseball here on Fox Sports West, along with Mark Kubica. I'm Victor Rojas, and usually this time of year you start talking about the mid-season awards, and I know a lot of prognosticators will talk about the MVPs of each league, but let's talk a little bit about the team MVP. With no Mike Trout over the last 5+ weeks here, you'd have to say that Andrelton Simmons, as good a season Mike Trout was having, Andrelton Simmons certainly kind of fits that role.
Yeah, Victor, when you think about what he has done with the bat, what he has done with the glove, the leadership on that infield, what he has crushed the baseball, 30 extra base hits this season, more than he had the entire season last year, 9 home runs. So he's driving the ball very well. He's utilizing the whole field. He's hitting fastballs. He's hitting breaking balls very well. But when you look at his glove, though, that's where he just shines even more so. The athleticism, the range he has, the ability to be able to get to baseballs that look like they're going to end up being base hits. The arm strength is outstanding. His ability to turn double plays and the instincts for Andrelton Simmons are off the chart. He's really led on the defensive side, but what he's done with the bat, though, 290 batting average this season, also along with those 30 extra base hits.
Mentioned it's been a tough weekend for the Angels. They have been outscored 15-2 so far through the first 2 games, and it gets a little tougher today. Yu Darvish on the mound for the Texas Rangers. The Halos will counter with J.C. Ramirez. We're just about ready for baseball here in Arlington. Sit back and relax. Going to bring you the lineups for the first pitch when we return.
California Land Rover retailers. By Jerome's Furniture, home of Jerry's Price and proudly the official furniture store of Angels Baseball. And by your local Toyota dealers. Let's go places. Welcome back out to Arlington Globe Life Park. The finale of this three-game set, the finale of the ceremonial first half for both ball clubs. For all teams throughout Major League Baseball. You've got the Futures game, I guess, having batting practice right now at Marlins Park. They're going to get ready to go at about 3 o'clock Central Time, 1 p.m. Pacific Time. And then you've got the Home Run Derby tomorrow. The All-Star game only on Fox on Tuesday. It's a great time of year. I mean, this is the fun time where baseball kind of dominates the sports landscape. There's no other sports going on, and nice to see the talented ones being showcased this coming week.
Yeah, the future stars, the game you mentioned, that Futures game at the Fan Fest down there, whenever there's an All-Star festivity down in Miami right now going on, that's a blast. And of course, then you have the All-Star game itself on Tuesday, Home Run Derby tomorrow. So much fun down there at the All-Star break, and it's a great city to be in Miami now.
Halos, of course, are kind of limping toward the All-Star break. They dropped 2 of 3 to the Minnesota Twins. Matter of fact, they lost the first 2 before winning on Wednesday. They've lost the first 2 here. And Yu Darvish on the mound for Texas, and he's already made 2 starts against the Angels. He's got great career numbers against the Halos, although his strikeout totals aren't what they normally are. A walk rate up just a little bit. A little different Yu Darvish. But he is the guy that gives the Angels a lot of fits.
But he's given up some home runs this season, 14 of them. So you have to make sure when you get one of those mistakes with Darvish, you capitalize on it.
Take a look at the lineup for Mike Scioscia. The Halos 3 games under 500 for the first time since early May. That was against the Tigers at that point, 44-47. Currently, a game behind Texas, now in 3rd place in the West. It'll be Cameron Maybin leading things off. Cole Calhoun 2nd. Albert Pujols DHing. Then you've got Yunel Escobar, Luis Valbuena, and Andrew Simmons in the middle. 3rd, Ben Revere, Nick Franklin, and this afternoon, Juan Gratterall getting to start behind the plate. Cole, of course, has struggled this year. Had a very, very tough month of April. It kind of continued into May, turned it around in June. Still hasn't gotten back into the swing of things
but
yet.
He does have very good career numbers against the Rangers. 304 batting average, 11 home runs. Also very good numbers against Darvish. 375, 6 for 16, including 2 home runs off of Yu Darvish. Yu Darvish this season 6-7, 3.56. My go-to to be successful against Darvish is attack that first pitch. Numbers against him on an 0-0 count put in play, 351, and drive the cutter. Slider's very difficult to hit, but his cutter has been hittable this season. 4 home runs allowed, 316 batting average. But when you look at that breakable, whether it's his curveball or slider, that sharp break to it, just 165 batting average versus his curveball and slider. You see that late break to it. It starts in the strike zone to sharpness, out of the strike zone for some swing and misses. That's a very difficult pitch to deal with. That's why I say go and attack. That first pitch could be a fastball. First one, do some damage.
Yeah, he'll be making his 19th start of the season. He is the All-Star. Of course, will not partake in the festivities on Tuesday or pitch in the game because he is getting to start today. But he is the Rangers representative in the American League All-Star game. Take a look at the defense for Texas this afternoon. Mazzara, DeShields, and Chu in the outfield from left to right. The infield was Robinson, Andrews, Odor, and Gallo from 3rd to 1st. Chirinos behind the plate.
Gallo will be making his 20th start at first base, 53 at 3rd base, and 1 in left field. He's been at no errors. Has been involved in 14 double plays at first base for the Texas Rangers for Joey Gallo.
Cameron Maybin ready to lead things off. Hitting 245, 15 doubles, a triple, 6 home runs, and 21 runs batted in. Darvish always from the stretch position. The first one's upstairs.
His fastball is going to be 92 to 97. A little bit better velocity this season on the average. Slider, cutter, curve, change, occasional split.
2 balls, no strikes. Cam last night 0 for 3 with a couple of walks. Also picked off as against Tyson Ross. The Angels last night managing 2 runs on 7 hits. 2-0 pitch. 3-0. The strikeout percentage for Darvish a little bit down at 26%. The walk rate at 8%. Just ticking the opposite way, but still racking up some punch-outs. 119 of them in 111 plus innings. 3-1.
Right off his foot on a 3-1 pitch. Darvish will throw a 2-seam and a 4-seam fastball. Better numbers against his sinker. .314 batting average. Four-seam fastball, more effective. He runs that upper part of the strike zone.
Calhoun on deck, then followed by Albert Pujols. Here's the 3-2. Chopper left side. That's Drew Robinson. One down. Robinson got the start at left field last night, had a couple of hits, including his second home run. Getting the start today for Beltre at third, with Adrian serving as the DH.
He's had a couple really good swings in this series for Drew Robinson. So valuable when you can play a number of defensive positions.
Shift on with Cole at the plate, and he'll swing through the first one.
So far now, when you look what Darvish has done, the first two pitches, first two batters, fastballs. That's why you see those numbers. 351 against with 2 home runs on an 0-0 count when put in play. Most pitchers generally will like to try to attack the strike zone with a fastball. First pitch.
A little bit high, even to count. Darvish, even though from the stretch, hides the baseball pretty well. It's difficult to pick it up. Cole last night went 0 for 5, hitting .245 on the season, .320 on base percentage. 2-1.
Well, when you think about this Texas club, and they've really struggled to be consistent this season. When they have their 1-2 punch together with Darvish, we're seeing him today, and Cole Hamels, we saw on Friday, they become a much better team. Cole Hamels looks like he's back to where he was in the past.
Two balls, 2 strikes. A little 2 o'clock start here in Arlington. 88 degrees at first pitch, and it's a hot, muggy one to wrap up the series. 2-2. Full count. So back-to-back batters. Darvish has gone to a full count. Albert's on deck. Mentioned this is the 3rd start against the Angels this year. 2-0 with a 1.38 ERA. 13 innings, 20 strikeouts through the first 2 starts against the Angels in 2017. 3-2 to Cole. I'll ground this one into the shift. That's Odor. Bad throw, and Calhoun gets tagged out by Gallo. 2 outs. Pretty nice play by Joey Gallo as that ball kind of sailed on Odor, I should say.
Quick check in there from Dino Evil to Steve Solis to see if it's worth challenging. A high throw got underneath the sidearm throw off the base. Gallo reaches back, applies the tag. Real close to getting that foot down though for Cole.
Joe West making the call at first. No complaint from Mike Scioscia. So 2 outs, nobody on for Albert. Albert's average at .239 now. 0 for 4 yesterday.
Yeah, Albert is 7 for 34 against Darvish, but he does have 2 home runs.
1-1 out toward left. Hit well. Mazar is looking up, and this one is gone into the bullpen. Big fly for Albert Pujols. 13th of the season. 604th of his career. The Angels have a 1-0 lead.
Well, Albert waited back on that curveball from Darvish. Mentioned the numbers against the breakable this season. 13 home runs down the season. 54 RBI for Albert Pujols.
breaking ball just drifted to the heart of the plate, and Albert did not miss this curveball. The hanger, and crushed it out to left center field. 390 sign and over the wall for Pujols. He's got 139 career first inning home runs. Easily the major league record.
So the Angels strike first in this series. For the first time in this series, I should say. Escobar's homered in this series. Lays off the high pitch. 1 ball, 1 strike. Yurney hitting .288, 6 home runs, 25 runs batted in. Homered yesterday, on 1 for 3. Was also hit by a pitch.
Those odd numbers too against Darvish on 1-1 counts when you put the ball in play. Hitter's .375 with 3 home runs. Well, now that goes up a little bit more. Pujols on a 1-1 pitch.
This is lined towards second. Short hops Odor. Nice play by him. We'll launch it over to Gallo, and the Angels are done here in the first. But Albert Pujols sits his 13th of the season, 54th run batted in to give J.C. Ramirez a 1-0 lead early on.
On that 1-1 count, Albert gets a curveball, drives it out to left center field. Angels with a 1-0 lead here in the first.
Home run. We'll take a look at Jeff Bannister's lineup for the Texas Rangers at 43 and 44. 15.5 back in the West. They'll have Chua, Andrews, and Bizarre in the top third of the order. Beltre, Odor, and Robinson in the middle third, with Robinson serving as the third baseman. Then Chirinos, Gallo, and DeShields. Nomar Mazara continues to swing the bat well against the Angels through his brief big league career.
Yeah, .345 career hit against the Angels with 7 home runs, 21 RBI. Able to get that arms extended, barrel of the bat, effective swings throughout his young career versus the Angels. A guy to keep an eye on today, especially in RBI situations.
J.C. Ramirez on the mound. 20th appearance, 17th start, 7-7, a 4.73 ERA. Rough outing the last time out against the Minnesota Twins. He's ahead of the count on Shin-Soo Choo at 0 balls, 2 strikes.
Some outstanding shoes going for J.C. Ramirez today. Very important for J.C. to be efficient with the pitch count. Numbers in June, ERA, a little over 7. Struggling a little over 7 in the month of July. Very important. Get some quick outs, get deeper in the game, save some of those quality pitches in key moments.
0-2. That's a breaking ball, locks him up, and there's out number 1. Shoes. Native of Nicaragua. Kind of looks like the Nicaraguan flag.
Throwing the ball very well in the starting rotation when JC pitches. Quite a few viewers down there watching his games.
Elvis Andrus steps in with 1 out, nobody on.
Both starting pitchers pitching from the stretch position with no one on. JC has done that all season long. Fastball is going to be 92-97. Slider curveball.
One pitch. Andrews bounces it to third. Escobar's got it. 2 down. Take a look at the Angels on the defensive side supporting J.C. Ramirez. You've got Revere, Maben, and Calhoun in the outfield from left to right. Infield with Escobar, Simmons, Franklin, and Valbuena around from third to first, and Gratterall behind the plate.
And Franklin should be busy with J.C. Ramirez on the mound today, getting those ground ball outs. 125 starts in his career at second base. He's played first, short, left, and right in his career. No errors so far at second base as an Angel.
Here's Nomar Mazara, 259 of the season, 12 home runs, 56 runs batted in. Limited to just 1 hit last night. It was an RBI double in the first. Went 1 for 4. 16th double of the year. Bouncer back toward the middle. Simmons with the shift on is there. JC with a 1-2-3 shutdown inning. We head to the second with the Halos up 1-0. Family, that's right. For only $44, get 4 tickets, 4 hot dogs, 4 soft drinks with the Coca-Cola Friends and Family Fun Pack. Just go to angels.com for more info. They're braving it out here. The old 2 o'clock start in Arlington. It's a warm one. Albert Pujols giving the Halos the early lead with his 604th career home run. Darvish around that. Got 3 ground ball outs. He'll face Valbuena, Simmons, and Revere here in the Angels half of the second.
Yeah, it's certainly a toasty one for the fans in the stands here today.
Many tried to fan themselves and cool themselves down as Valbuena rolls over the off-speed pitch. Gallo flips it to Darvish, 1 out.
That's 4 ground ball outs already for Darvish. Delicious boomstick.
For $26.
Yes, indeed.
You can have a couple of meals on your lap. Looks comfortable, especially in the summer heat.
Yeah.
They'll be lathered up shortly.
Ken French was talking about grabbing one of those before we leave to get on the plane.
Get out.
Yeah.
No, he's not.
Yeah, he's thinking about it.
It's a.
We're pressuring him a lot. That's
yeah,
why.
We are. It's pretty good pacing for those two. Simmons takes a strike. I'd imagine you can't inhale that thing too quickly. You'd be in a lot of trouble. You're going to be in trouble eventually anyway.
Exactly.
But prolong the inevitable. Simmons batting average up to 290. This after he had the 3-hit game last night, going 3 for 4, 2 singles and a double. $20 doubles, a triple, 9 home runs, 38 runs batted in. That tied him up. 1-2.
Runs that fastball upstairs. We've seen Simmons able to get his hands through that baseball, even an elevated one, but not on that one. 344 hitter versus fastballs this season for Andrelton Simmons. That was a tough one to even make contact with.
Down goes Simmons. First strikeout of the afternoon for Darvish. 2 outs. That swing too, by the way, by Simmons almost looked like the old Carney Lansford where you swing and get hit in the chest.
Yes.
Which isn't good.
Well, I'll come back to a story on that one after we get my Hyundai key for this game today for the Angels to be successful against the Rangers. And you, Darvish, run to the hills. When you get on base against Darvish, doesn't give you many opportunities. You got to try to steal some bags. 13 stolen bases in 15 attempts against him this season. I once did hit Carney Lansford in the chest and got a swing and miss. That's Ernie Harwell, 2 for the price of 1.
That's pretty good movement for a guy that didn't cheat. Right-handed batter.
I dropped my elbow.
Did you? Is that what it was? A little run action.
Yes.
Create the run.
Again, run to the hills. Bring it all together.
Ben Revere, starting left fielder once again, hitting 228. 254 on base percentage. He's ahead of the count of 2 balls, no strikes.
There's never a bad time to bring a little Iron Maiden in on a baseball game. Run to the hills.
Revere, a little soft liner to Rougned Odor, gets jammed, and that may have gotten the bare hand of Odor. Switching that fist. 1-2-3 inning for you, Darvish. 1-0 Angels. Specially adapted homes nationwide for severely injured post 9/11 veterans. Learn more about how Homes for Our Troops is rebuilding lives and visit foxsportssupports.com. Beltre DHing today. That'll be followed by Odor and then Robinson. Good off-speed pitch. 1 ball, 1 strike. Adrian hitting .288, 7 home runs, 27 runs batted in. Casey Ramirez with a 1-2-3 shutdown inning in the first.
Talk about
strikeout.
Pitch efficient, very efficient. This 9 pitches to get those 3 outs for JC.
In the tough outing the last time out. Last 2 times actually. 4 runs, 7 hits in 5 innings. Have worked 100 pitches in 5 innings at Minnesota. They gave up 7 runs, 6 earned against the Dodgers prior to that, 5 2/3.
Now you put a real good fastball hitter who looks in one zone to try to pull a baseball in a good fastball count now. Beltre against JC Ramirez.
The leadoff walk to start the second. Brings up Bruton and Odor. Odor, the second baseman, hitting .222. 12 doubles, 2 triples, 17 home runs, 40 runs batted in. Homer in the opening game of the series Friday night. Last night went 1 for 4 with a double. This one's popped up shallow left. Long run out for Simmons. Long run in for Revere, and he'll get there. Makes the catch.
Yeah, usually you see Anderson Simmons going back quickly for a baseball, but he knew he had no chance where he was set up defensively to be able to get back to that baseball. Ben Revere showing some good closing speed, runs it down. Where Simmons is playing towards the base, he knows he has no chance to get to there. Initially looked like he went in a different, going towards the left field line, but then closed in with that quick speed of Ben Revere to catch that pop-up.
So 1 out, 1 on. Here's Drew Robinson. Multi-hit game last night. His first home appearance. Pardon me, on board 3 times. Had 1 hit. 1 hit, a 2 RBI home run, second of the season. He's now 3 for 8 since being called up. Also drew 2 walks. This one's rolled foul.
Good sink on that fastball. When you look at numbers this season against JC as far as his fastball, that's his 2-seam, 4-seam. 288 batting average with 11 home runs allowed. His slider and curve is 250 with 6 home runs allowed for JC Ramirez. And that curveball, which he started throwing a lot more in spring training, has really been an effective pitch for him against left-handed batters. He's more of a fastball, slider, split guy.
Rolled over to first. Valbuena's got it. This is going to be a tag play on Beltre, who runs into the out. I'm surprised Valbuena even threw it. Beltre doesn't want to run back and forth.
No. He wants to conserve energy.
Absolutely. We'll head to the 3rd inning with the Angels up 1-0. Orioles are in town. Fans in attendance that night get the Trout MVP double bobblehead courtesy of the Automobile Club of Southern California while supplies last. For more information, just go to angels.com. Speaking of Mike Trout, last night, third rehab appearance against Scott Kazmir, pulling a double down the left field line and saying after the game that he feels 100%.
Looking forward to seeing him back in that Angel uniform on Friday, hopefully.
Nick Franklin leading things off against Yu Darvish here in the third. Albert Pujols giving the Angels a 1-0 lead in the first inning with his 13th of the season. 604th of his career. Angels have 8-9-1 here in this inning. 1 ball, 1 strike. Franklin back-to-back starts at second. 2 for 10. Had a single last night. He's also picked up an RBI as a member of the Angels. To 1. Franklin yanks one down the line and it hooks foul. I think the guy with the glove down there is going to make a nice catch.
Unable to catch that baseball.
The glare. Must have been the glare.
It really was. That tough angle. What was that catch probability on that play?
Full count. Not a big fan of the catch probability, are you?
That's why you have a glove to catch the baseball. Actually, I like some of the StatCast as far as how far you have to go and track down a baseball. Yes, I do like that.
And there's a leadoff walk. First free pass issued by Darvish.
And especially at this part of the lineup with Gratterall, who can handle the bat well, Franklin, who can run pretty well. Definitely an action situation, whether it's a straight steal or a hit and run. Against Darvish, you don't get many opportunities to score runs in an inning, and this might be one of those times you try to manufacture a run.
Juan Gratterall at the plate. This guy you could hit and run with as well if you wanted to. Big hole on the right side with Odor shading toward the middle.
He does a good job as far as punching that ball to the right side of the infield also.
Very similar to the Carlos Perez approach to hitting. Just kind of trying to go up the middle or out to right field. On occasion will turn on the baseball. I'll pull this one foul. Juan comes in batting .250. 1 double, 5 runs batted in.
Long look for Gratterall down to Ron Renicky. Shelby Gallo's been very busy over first base already. Have to move him around quite a bit.
Unfortunately, it's a warm day, so he's not going to pull any muscles over there.
No.
The doors made him work.
Big lead for Franklin. Looked like he was thinking about going, didn't quite get the jump he wanted to.
Gratterall behind now at 0-2. Darvish's last start is here against Boston. Gave up 7 runs on 11 hits and 4 1/3 against the Red Sox. Flare down the line. This one slicing out of play. As a matter of fact, the numbers for Darvish this year at home has been rather pedestrian. 3-4 with a 4.57 ERA. On the road, 3-3 with a 2.32 earned run average. Guy that when he originally came over from Japan signed a 6-year deal. 2012, he'll be a free agent at the end of the season unless Texas decides to extend his contract prior to hitting the market. 0-2.
You think Texas, if they kind of fall out of it, start of the second half, his name would certainly be out there.
As Texas will start on the road. They will not be back home until 2 weeks from tomorrow. They open up in Kansas City on Friday. The Angels will go home for a while
Against the Tampa Bay Rays.
Tampa Bay Rays.
Tampa Bay 3 games over 500.
Yeah. Got a new shortstop too. Gradwell again fouling it off. This one slicing into the seats. The count remains at 1-2. Let's take a look at that schedule post break. Nice homestand. Tampa Bay, an off day. 2 against the Nats, an off day. 3 against Boston, and an off day. And we were all wondering what off days look like.
Yeah. With the 92nd game of the season here today for the Angels.
Yep. And then they play the 6 on the road. 3 in Cleveland, 3 in Toronto. Then they have an off day on that following Monday before returning home. Gradwell chases the off-speed pitch. Darvish picks up the first down here in the third. Second strikeout of the afternoon.
Seems like the Angels don't get many off days at home. It always seems to be a travel day. So it's going to be very good for him to get those. Showed that in the opening, that horizontal break on his breaking ball, whether it's a slider or curveball. Very, very good. Very difficult to hit, although Albert Pujols drove one of those breaking balls out of the ballpark for the 1-0 lead for the Angels in the first inning.
David's 0 for 1. He grounded out to Davidson. Pardon me, to Robinson at third. Drew Robinson. I have a friend named Drew Davidson, and he used to cover the Rangers on the beat. Good guy, by the way.
Well, that's important.
And he went to Kansas.
Yes.
Rock chalker.
Rock chalk.
0-1. That's a strike. Trinos loses the baseball. And Franklin remains at first. It's an 0-2 count. With that first inning at bat, Cam now 3 for 24 to open the month of July. Quick throw to first. Franklin's back. Leadoff walk to Franklin. Gradwell a strikeout, and that's where we stand right now. That's a foul ball. Remember early on, before Cam got on that roll in that leadoff spot, he was caught in between, and he looks like he's gotten back into that situation. And it happens with hitters.
Yes.
Through the course of his season.
A little longer of a swing, not using the lower part of his body when he was really, really productive in the leadoff spot. Shorten up his swing, using his legs and lower part of his body to drive the baseball.
We'll go down swinging here. Back-to-back strikeouts for Darvish. 2 outs.
A little bit of that longer swing there for Cam. Fastball, even in that zone in which you're going to see may even drive the ball a little bit longer on the swing, pulled off the baseball, the hips open up, no contact made. And still no stolen base attempt here for Franklin. Trinos has only thrown out 20% the base stealers this season. Strikeout machine, Darvish.
Kolb grounded out of the first. He's 0 for 1.
I'm just looking over the last 3 seasons for Darvish. Base runners against him. 36 stolen bases in 38 attempts against him.
Franklin.
That looked
That's
like a
balk.
Yes, he
That
did.
is a balk, and the home plate umpire,
They
Nick
got it.
Lentz, is calling it.
That was definitely a balk.
No question about it.
He didn't step off. I mean, that there's no doubt about that one.
There was movement before he stepped off. Nick Lentz, the home plate umpire, called it. Bannister's not happy about it, but it was a balk.
That was a balk.
If we could see it from up here, it's clearly a balk.
And again, one thing you cannot do as a manager, you can't argue a balk. Might get an explanation, and that'll be about it. Watch the foot, the back foot, as he's starting to go. Coming up right here. You see that back? He bent that first before he stepped off. He collapsed the back leg, and then he stepped off. You have to step off first. That's one of the few we've been able to explain rather easily without that front leg moving and stuff. Throw over the first base we saw with Alex Meyer.
Even that front knee, though, that front knee collapsed a little bit, too. So runner at second, 2 outs. One ball, no strikes on Cole.
It's 2 balks we've seen on this road trip called.
Nobody else called it but the home plate umpire, too. 1-1. Andrews trying to keep Franklin close to the base. And this is bounced into the shift again. Odor from shallow right. This time his throw is true, and the Angels leave a man in scoring position. We'll head to the bottom of the third. Halos up 1-0. The MLB All-Star Game Tuesday, July 11th, only on Fox. Speaking of All-Star games, we're going to flash back to 1988. A young Mark Gubicza with the tightest uniform possible. Oh, a strikeout of Ryan Sandberg. And who's next? The kid. He
Only time he's ever struck out in an All-Star game.
Grab some pine.
Yes.
Stretch. Get all back there.
Get back there.
With the baby blues, too. I like it.
That's a great uni.
Cincinnati?
Yes, indeed. The kid came up to me. We had a little Nike trip, and he came like, you know, son, that's the only time I ever struck out in an All-Star game. I said, well, I was just trying not to get you to hit a line drive off my forehead, so I figured I'd get you to swing in a slider well out of the strike zone.
Gary Carter was the best.
He was a great guy.
So great to be around. Chirinos takes ball 1. Chirinos, Gallo into Shields here in the bottom third of the order for Texas.
By the way, that smile was legit like 24 hours a day. Always happy.
J.C. Ramirez with a strikeout and a walk. Is it allowed a hit? And Trinos cuts through this one. He's the backup catcher, hitting .224, 12 home runs, 25 runs batted in. Signed an extension this year. Lucroy's a free agent to be. I feel that Trinos is good enough defensively and provides enough offensively to be kind of an everyday guy. Late bloomer as a catcher in the big leagues. But a good arm, always seems to hit the Angels really hard and with the long ball.
I mean, look at great numbers this season overall and limited amount of playing time.
And Trinos lifts one out the left. Not very deep. Revere moving over. One down. Speaking of Gary Carter, I'm fortunate enough to work with the 1993 inaugural season Florida Marlins. And Gary was hired as the first television analyst because he lived in the Palm Beach area. Jay Randolph was the original play-by-play man on TV for the Marlins. So those two guys, the round mound of sound Jay Randolph and the kid Gary Carter, two of the greatest guys in baseball. Gary, of course, passed away a couple years ago, and Jay still makes his home in the St. Louis area. Always happy.
Yes.
Jay with the little glass of vino. You can ask him what restaurant to go to in any city. He was Yelp before Yelp.
Yep.
Yep.
Now we rely on Tom Taylor for that information.
Oh, yeah. Always.
Yes.
Legend, Tom Taylor. T squared. Joey Gallo, the first baseman, hitting .194. 11 doubles, 2 triples, 21 home runs, and 41 runs batted in. Tom is the director of team travel for the Angels, and on the road, he is the Norm Peters of our broadcast booth.
Yes, he is.
He's our stats guy.
Speaking of always having a smile on his face, Tom Taylor.
Yep. Until I made that comment.
And went to a frown.
Yep. Gallo, 23-year-old Henderson, Nevada native, former first-round pick. He'll take a strike. 3-1. A lot of power in that bat for Gallo. A lot of strikeouts as well.
Yeah, you get him with a high pitch, upper part of the strike zone. This 132 batting average against a high pitch.
Shift on with the first baseman at the plate. 3-1. And he'll work the walk. Mention the power of Gallo. This is a pretty big ballpark, especially out to right field. This is batting practice once earlier this year. That's up onto the roof by the K in Globe Life Park.
That is unbelievably far.
That's where the scoreboard sits. In batting practice.
Yeah, so you're creating all the power yourself. Look how far that is.
That didn't need the help of a jet stream.
No.
You got to be alert with Gallo on the bases. For a big guy, pretty decent speed. Runs the bases well.
And he's got 5 stolen bases, not been caught yet this year. Well, and speaking of batting practice, one time in the Metrodome, speaking of all-stars, Bo Jackson one time was hitting his normal from the right side, hitting his home runs, and everyone was joking around. Can you do something different for once, Bo? Which every single day he did something nobody else could do. Went around, hit left-handed, hit 3 in a row in the upper tank at the Metrodome.
You know, there's no smoking
No,
at the Metrodome.
No, not at all.
Back in the day.
Nor no Metrodome anymore.
That's gone.
Yes. Although the Super Bowl will be played in that same site, the new football stadium for the Minnesota Vikings.
Gallo, by the way, 5 stolen bases, has not been caught stealing. Jason Ramirez paying an awful lot of attention to him. Delino DeShields, the center fielder, has a 1-0 count. 284 average this year. One ball, one strike. Showing bunt, drops it down. Ground roll. Fielded, throw to first, and they get DeShields just by a step.
An outstanding play. You really have no time to set yourself, and Graterol had no choice but to go after that baseball as quick as possible and throw on the move and a perfect throw to first base. That was a great bunt by DeShields. Checked it up on the grass, all in one motion, fires it over to first base to get the out. Pushed that down with the bare hand. Got a lot on that throw to just get Shields at first.
Hey, do you agree that that should be a sacrifice? They just called it a sacrifice.
No, that's
bunting for a base hit.
There's one out. Now, if there's no outs, okay. But there's already one out.
So he doesn't get charged. Yeah, you might as well go for the at-bat. Or for a hit, I should say, because you're not going to get charged with an at-bat at that point.
You know, I can never remember back in the day where they would give you a sacrifice. With one out, you're clearly, unless it's a pitcher in the National League, you're bunting there for a hit.
Absolutely. Chu struck out looking in the first, bounces this one to second. It's Franklin. Played the short hop there. And the Rangers get a man in scoring position, leave him stranded there. We're headed to the fourth. Halos up 1-0.
Coming to the plate, what he did in the first inning was worthy of a Carl's Cam replay. 1-1 count, curveball crushed by the machine. His 13th home run, 54th RBI of the season, number 604 for Albert Pujols.
Pujols, Escobar, and Valbuena for the Angels against Yu Darvish. 3 strikeouts, 1 walk, 1 hit allowed. Lifts this one out toward right center field. Shields moving to his left, calling for it. 1 down. Brings up Escobar. Grounded out his first time up. Looks like some storm brewing in the distance. Typical weather, summertime here in North Texas. Should be all right, but you never know. Escobar popping this one up to Elvis Andrus. 2 outs, 2 pitches, 2 outs.
And you know the numbers against Darvish. Talked about earlier. That first pitch put in play, 351. But when you have 2 quick outs like that, very difficult as a hitter to be up there thinking swinging first pitch.
Valbuena chased an off-speed pitch in the second, grounded out to Gallo.
You're real surprised if he's swinging away here. And he probably wishes that he was on that one. That pitch was right down the heart of the plate.
Luis came in batting 183, 5 doubles, 6 home runs, 23 runs batted in. Fouls it back. Time called on an 0-2 count. Chirinos and Darvish with 2 outs need to talk things over.
Basically, the conversation is, you know, you've thrown a lot of pitches in this inning. You think there's a way we can finish this one off?
He's thrown 4 pitches.
It's always priceless to see the reactions for the fielders out there for Texas. You got Odor kneeling down basically. Quick 2 outs, then an 0-2 count.
It's inevitable when the backup's in there, though. Got to have a meeting. Got to milk it.
Yeah.
You never liked anybody on the mound,
No.
did you?
Not unless the catcher was up there at the end with a high five to finish the game. That was about it.
Giving you the game ball.
Yes.
Other than that,
no. We'll have that conversation after the game or before the game, which you generally would go through the game plan anyhow.
did you talk to people during the game, your starts?
In the dugout?
Yeah.
Nah, not really. No.
Pitching coaches ever come up to you?
Yeah, a few times. Always very pleasant conversations there too.
On your behalf?
Yes. Yeah, and I was basically saying, now we can have that conversation after the game. Or I thought we had that before the game.
Valbuena strikes out, swinging. Darvish with a 1-2-3, 4th hit at the bottom of the inning. Willows up 1-0. so far has done a nice job. 1 strikeout, 2 walks, has yet to allow a hit. Will face Elvis Andrus, Nomar Mazar, and Adrian Beltre for Texas in their half of the 4th. Hope you're enjoying your Sunday afternoon. Elvis Andrus grounded out his first time up. Returned to the lineup yesterday after the birth of his firstborn a couple of days ago. Bouncer foul.
That slide a little bit elevated.
This hit sharply to short on a 1-hopper. Simmons has it, throws out Elvis Andrus, 1 down.
Well, we showed Anderson Simmons in the opening day swinging the bat but playing some solid defense. That was a very tough play. It's our top tier play brought to you by Arco. This ball was scolded. 1-hopper, able to field it and knows he has to get up quickly to throw out Andrus at first base and gets him by a stride. Another solid defensive play by Anderson Simmons on the backhand, over the top throw, gets Andrus at first.
Brings up Mazara. Mazara grounded out to short in the first inning.
Seven outs via the ground ball so far for J.C. Ramirez. Very important in this ballpark.
Good fastball up and away.
Yeah, good run action on there. JC has faced 12 batters so far in this game. He's only thrown 3 first pitch strikes, but he's been able to get right back into counts with that good movement, whether it's on his slider or that 96-mile-an-hour fastball.
1-2. Mazara had a fantastic game Friday night. On board 4 times. Single and a home run, 3 runs batted in, 2 walks as well. Breaking pitch, and that's lined to left center field. And that'll fall in for a base hit. Maybe to cut it off. Mazara heading to second base, and he is in there with a 1-out double.
Just went with that pitch. Curveball, went back-to-back curveballs on him to shorten up his swing, looked at the ball the other way. That's the thing that's been very impressive about Mazara, his ability to hit the ball the opposite field.
Way too good of a pitch, though, with 2 strikes.
Especially when you threw the perfect 1-1 before to establish you can throw your curveball for a strike. Then you expand out of the strike zone to get a hit or the chase. You want to go back-to-back strikes with your curveball, especially when you're ahead of the count.
Beltre takes upstairs. He drew a walk in the second. Ball and a strike on Beltre. Second time the Rangers have had a man in scoring position. Late on the fastball.
Firm fastball, 97 again.
You look at that swing. Don't you go back to that?
I think you have to.
You're helping a hitter if you decide to go back to a breaking ball, do you not?
And that's a firm fastball. You got to try to go a little bit higher on there. And he did.
Foul to the plate. In and out of the glove of Gratterall. Sometimes you'd overthink these situations at 1-2. You sort of go, okay, back-to-back fastballs. Let me see if I can get him on a breaking ball.
Yeah.
I go back to the fastball.
I think he's got to be sitting breaking ball this time around. Yeah, you can go right back with a fastball.
One, two. Fastball. Just off the plate. Pretty good pitch.
Sharp break to this one, right on that corner. About a half a baseball off the corner.
Popped up. Third base side, Escobar. In fair territory, puts it away, 2 outs.
And I love that pitch once again for JC. Came right back with a high fastball against Beltre. We talked about in the first couple of games, he used to be able to crush that baseball. Not quite as quick upstairs out of the strike zone, pops it up, 97. So 3 of the last 4 pitches he saw in that sequence were high fastballs, 4-seamers, and he's late on it, pops it up, big out. When a man in scoring position for a guy that has driven in a lot of runs against the Angels and Adrian Beltre.
Mazar still at second, 2 outs, and here's Odor. Hit a fly ball to left field in his first at bat.
Just 22 hits away from 3,000, 152 career RBI against the Angels for Adrian Beltre.
Oh, 1. High fastball, 0-2.
He's had a good fastball today. A lot more fastballs than normal. You talk about percentages of pitches for JC Ramirez this season, about 48% fastballs, 36% slider, 16% is curveball. He's had a good fastball today, and he's used it pretty well.
Here's the 0-2. In tight. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Back toward the middle. Simmons is there. Second straight inning, the Rangers get a man in scoring position and leave him stranded there for the books. Halos up 1-0.
Rules of the trade brought to you by Ram Trucks. Talk about the many things that Andrelton Simmons does so well. We're talking about some of the quickest tags you'll ever see, especially with even some high throws, how quick he gets that tag down throughout this entire season. That hand-eye coordination off the charts for Andrelton Simmons, including last night on that quick tag to Robinson at second base. Those hands outstanding for Simba.
1-0 Angels as we start the 5th. Simmons leading things off. He struck out in the second. He'll take a strike. 1 of 4 strikeouts for you, Darvish. 1 walk, 1 hit. The hit was a home run.
Talk about a consistent long run. Last 50 games, batting average .333 for Andrelton Simmons.
This is pulled down the line, foul. 1-2.
But that last at bat pitched him way off the plate inside and then follow up with a fastball down and away. Fastball in, wonder if he'll go back down and away.
Simmons goes down swinging for the second time. 1 away.
Almost the exact same pitch. He struck him out his first at bat. In that same pattern, up and in, down and away. 94-mile-an-hour fastball that would have been a strike. It's a swing and miss with it. Might not be a bad time for Ben Revere maybe to drag a bunt down the first baseline. Gallo playing back. Darvish, a good fielding pitcher, would have that coverage on that right side.
Ben will soft line it to a door in the second inning at bat. This is flipped down towards shallow left field. That's going to get down for a base hit on an 0-2 pitch. Ben Revere picks up the Angels' second hit.
Again, it was elevated and in the strike zone. Able to flick it out into the outfield for a base hit. Stayed back on it well. See if Ben Revere's on the move here. Look at Darvish wanted that pitch. It was a pretty close pitch right on the inside corner.
Franklin walked in his first plate appearance. The only base on balls that Darvish has allowed so far today. He was balked to second base and stranded there.
Frustration on that breaking ball from Darvish. Didn't get it where he wanted to throw it. Certainly a count for action now. 2-1 with 1 out. Texas sensing that same thing.
.64 pitches for Darvish, very effective so far. Revere's on the move. The pitch inside, a throw down from Chirinos. Not in time. Ben Revere wasn't fully committed to that slide. Kind of a last second. I'll drop down to my keister.
Certainly always has a smile on his face too. Big jump. Look back. Thought he was going to go in there standing.
Yeah.
Said, oh, I better slide now. A late slide, the boot. On the base, picks up his 8th stolen base. Mentioned he could steal some bases against Darvish. 14th stolen base he's allowed this season.
Franklin with a 3-ball count for his second plate appearance. He picks up his second walk. On board twice, 2 on, 1 out, 1 Gratterall coming up.
Good speed on the bases too for Mike Scioscia. Always got to be ready now if you're Ben Revere too for a potential back pick at second.
Gratterall struck out of the 3rd. A pickoff attempt to Revere. And a rundown, high throw, and the throw gets away from the 3rd baseman. Drew Robinson may have hit Revere and ricocheted back to Darvish. So both runners advance 90 feet.
Look, we thought he might be thinking in terms of that back pick. He does, turns around and throws, but the high throw from Odor allows Ben Revere to pick up his 2nd stolen base. Two runners in scoring position now.
I was trying to think how the ball ricocheted back to Darvish. I wonder if the ball went in and out of the glove of Robinson.
It looked like he tried a quick tag on the high throw to the glove side. Infield back for the Rangers.
I'm assuming they're giving Nick Franklin a stolen base. He did not break.
He might get it there on an error.
Yeah, it is an error on Odor. And it's, so I was wondering because he was flat-footed as Revere took off. Odor gets charged with his 8th error of the year.
Still pretty good read by Nick Franklin to go once that baseball got away from Robinson at 3rd. Deflected back towards Darvish.
Doug Brocail, the pitching coach, out to pay a visit. This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Los Angeles Angels and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of Angels Baseball LP. They're making dinner plans out there or what?
I was going to say, I thought there was a time for that. That conversation with the pitching coach and a pitcher.
Yeah, clock's overrated. They have it, they don't use it. Gratterall now has the infield in. Runners at 2nd and 3rd, 1-0 Angels. We're in the 5th.
Infield in now.
Got a lot of off-speed stuff away in his first at bat, and that's all he's got to do is just think about going out toward right.
I'd like to see a lot of off-speed stuff here too. Darvish very good with runners in scoring position. Relies on his secondary pitches. Here another. 8 wild pitches for Darvish this season. Got to find a way to put this ball in play and get the run home. Contact play will be on. It will be difficult to score on a ground ball at an infielder, but Ben Revere has to get that good jump.
Gratterall drives one out to center field. It'll be deep enough to Shields. Going back on it is there. Makes the catch. Revere will tag. He'll score. Franklin over to third. A sac fly for Juan Gratterall. 2-0 Angels.
Nice piece of hitting by Juan Gratterall. That was a mistake pitch by Darvish. Upstairs allowed Gratterall to get that pitch that he could hit in the air and get the job done. So a manufactured run there for the Angels. Well done by Gratterall. Stolen base by Revere. Then the stolen base and the bad throw over to third. Hanging breakable, very similar to the one that Albert Pujols hit out in the first inning.
Cameron Maybin 0 for 2. A ground ball to third, a strikeout.
And got him with a fastball in last at bat. See if Cameron could put this one in play, bring home the third run of the game.
David strikes out for the second time. He's 0 for 3 on the night. The Angels add a run, 2-0 as we head to the bottom of the 5th. Rhodes. Bottom of the 5th inning. Angels up by the score of 2-0. J.C. Ramirez has allowed 1 hit. Yu Darvish has allowed 2.
So far, J.C. Ramirez has done a real good job as far as mixing it up today as compared to what he's done throughout the season. So he had 9% more fastballs thrown. He's had a good one. A couple more curveballs too. Less sliders against his Texas lineup for J.C. Ramirez, but his good fastball with good movement, 96, 97. 8 ground ball outs for JC. Again, he continues that pattern of falling behind 1-0.
Two balls, no strikes on Robinson, the third baseman. Grounded out his first time up.
Good slider there from JC. 96-mile-an-hour fastball. Make it a 2-1 count. Hard slider down and in.
Three-two, and he walked him. Lead-off walk to start the fifth. Can't start gifting base runners in a tight game. Third walk issued by Ramirez to go with 1 strikeout.
Now it's time for the driver's seat, brought to you by the new 2017 Kia Sorento. Top home run ratio this season, fewest at-bats per home run. Robinson Trino at the top, ahead of Aaron Judge. And Cody Bellinger, Mike Trout, 9.67 at-bats per home run for Torinos this season. So now you put him in a situation where one swing of the bat can tie it up after that walk to Robinson.
Escobar trying to start the double play. Quick turn by Franklin, even with the base runner running into Franklin.
Almost looked like they were going to call it a double play anyhow. Well, that's a good throw from Franklin. That's a pretty good double play turn overall by the Angels. That was a tough in-between hop by, Escobar feeds it over to Nick Franklin. And then hard slide by Robinson, and quickly got rid of it to be able to complete a 5-4-3 double play, second in the game for the Angels as far as turning a double play. That late slide by the base, but still got a lot on that throw for Nick Franklin. Solid play all around. And a big double play.
Gallo fouling off the first pitch. He worked a walk in the third.
Especially with this guy coming to the plate.
Power to spare.
Mentioned earlier that batting average versus high pitches for Gallo, 132. Also only 140 on outside pitches. The chance to do that right now on an 0-2 count.
Oh-2. Breaking ball. Two balls, 2 strikes. Oh, 2 to 3 and 2. Shields on deck. Second walk of the inning, fourth of the game.
Second time he's walked Gallo in this game.
I mean, I understand he's got a lot of power. He's also got a lot of swing and miss. 112 strikeouts on the season.
And when you look at numbers, 132 batting average versus high pitches, 140 versus away, you're more apt when you see those numbers and you're given those numbers before a game, you're going to challenge them.
DeShields, a sacrifice bunt, allegedly in the third inning. So no official at bat for him. He'll take a strike. Top of the order, Shin-Soo Choo on deck. 2-0 Angels. Home run by Pujols in the first, sac fly by Juan Graterol on the top of the fifth.
66 pitches now thrown for J.C. Ramirez. Yeah, good life on his fastball. Showed that graphic to start the inning on percentage of pitches in his arsenal. So quite a few more fastballs in this game. He's had a good fastball, 95, 96, 97, with some good movement also. Best fastball, 98. His slowest pitch, 77-mile-an-hour curveball. 22-mile-an-hour differential between his curveball and his best fastball.
Gallo's on the move. DeShields fouls it back. Boy, the pace of both starting pitchers is excruciating. DeShields pulls it foul. Yeah, 2-0 game with a total of 3 hits.
Especially when you think of the fastball and the movement JC has had in this game and the importance of being pitch efficient, because Mike Scioscia is really going to start at this point now for JC Ramirez to keep an eye on those amount of pitches thrown in the game, as he has never been a starter in the big league level. 97 innings pitched coming into this game, now over 100 the major league level for the first time.
Gallo again on the move. Simmons was covering and will sneak through. It's interesting that they changed the coverage with a 1-2 count. The first time Gallo took off towards second base, Nick Franklin had coverage at second and Simmons stayed home, but for whatever reason they decided to change it up here.
Yeah, this is again going to be a routine ground ball out. But with Anderson Simmons covering the base, anticipating something away, I'm guessing.
Big lead for DeShields, and they'll start checking in on him now.
I think with a very dangerous hitter and Chu at the plate, I think your focus is on him right now. Shields a very good base stealer, but there's 2 outs.
Again, I go back to, you get 2 outs and you get ahead of Gallo at 0-2, and then you become a nibbler. You end up walking him. You put yourself in a situation where with 1 swing of the bat, Texas is in the lead. Chu 0 for 2 with a strikeout and a ground out. And he almost throws it away.
And refocusing on the batter.
The Shields takes off. The throw down is second. Good one, but the Shields able to get there. Stolen base.
Two top teams in baseball as far as stolen bases have stolen bases in this game. Shields picks up number 19 on the season. What about that quick tag, but not quick enough to be able to get that tag on the foot before it hit the base. Try to keep that tag on him just in case that foot came off the base, though. It's close.
One and two. A long 5th inning for J.C. Ramirez, taking forever on the mound. 2 walks, a hit, runners at second and third. Has a 2-0 lead. 2-2. Full count.
The ever dangerous Elvis Andrews on deck now. Love to see him lead off the inning.
This is hit toward the middle. Simmons has it on the first. While it took a while, the 5th is in the books. We're off to the 6th inning. Angels on top 2-0.
being brought to you by the all-new 2017 Subaru Impreza. Subaru's symmetrical all-wheel drive plus 28 miles per gallon. More than a car, it's a Subaru. By Tough Shed, we are more than great sheds. Check them out at toughshed.com.
Halos up 2-0 here at the top of the 6th inning. Calhoun, Pujols, and Escobar coming up to face Yu Darvish on this warm, sunny afternoon. Darvish with 6 strikeouts, 2 walks, 2 hits allowed, one of which is the Pujols home run. Gave up a run in the 5th inning on the sac fly by Juan Graterol. Both runs have been earned. Cole twice has grounded out to Rougned Odor, so he's 0 for 2. Cued back toward the mound. Darvish has it. 1 away. Albert homered in the first, 604th of his career. Jumped on the first pitch in the 4th inning and hit a fly ball to center, so he's 1 for 2.
Now just 5 home runs away from tying Sammy Sosa on the all-time home run list.
One ball, no strikes.
Challenging with a high fastball, got it by Albert. 95, just above the strike zone. Enough on that at 95 to get it by Pujols. Albert's been much better on the low fastball this season as compared to the high fastball.
Two-two to Albert. Darvish down 81 pitches. This is yanked foul.
So foul ball to right, foul ball to left.
He's looked comfortable against Darvish today. Happy fan with a souvenir. Dribbler fooled on that one. Let's play by Escobar in the on deck circle. I'll give it to a young fan. Little guy coming up to get the baseball.
That's awesome.
Count remains at 2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out here. We're in the 6th.
Pat's happy there. Grabbed it with the left hand after a while. Little lefty.
This is yanked foul down the line.
Battle for that baseball.
Got the giveaway last night. The Mike Napoli throwback. Busted it out today. Full count. Yurdy's on deck. 0 for 2 so far. (3-2), and he walked him. Third walk issued by Darvish. The other two to Nick Franklin.
Third baseman Escobar.
This is a very good at bat by Pujols to work the walk. A 10 pitch at bat.
That's just a third walk for Albert since June 18th. (22nd on the season).
It's pretty surprising, especially with Mike Trout not in the lineup also. So when you're going through a lineup, you're trying to avoid certain hitters, and Albert Pujols would certainly be that guy you're trying to avoid in big situations.
1-1. Escobar bounces in. Glove by Darvish. Nice play. Feeds Odor for one. And the relay back to first, a double play. Pretty nice double play started by Darvish. We hit at the bottom of the 6th. The Angels still on top.
As said, Darvish fielded his position very well. Did so to get a double play.
Do Hyundai then now. See your local Hyundai dealer or visit buyhyundai.com. Halos up 2-0. The bottom of the 6th inning. JC Ramirez back to work. He'll face 2, 3, and 4. Elvis Andrus leading things off. He'll be followed by Nomar Mazar and then Adrian Beltre.
1 strikeout, 4 walks, but only 2 hits allowed for JC Ramirez in this game into the 6th inning.
Elvis twice is grounded out. Once the third, once the short.
And that's the 20th batter face in this game for JC Ramirez. So 7 times he's thrown a first pitch strike, but again, he's got back into account with that good lively fastball, even up at 1.
Bouncer toward third. Escobar has to come in on it. 1 away.
What if you ground ball outs for JC? Nice play by, Escobar. A nice play last inning to turn a double play, 5-4-3 double play.
9 ground ball outs, 2 of which have turned into double plays. Nomar Mazara 1 for 2. Doubled in the alley in the 4th inning. 17th of the year. JC at 80 pitches. First season as a starter. Mazara again loses the elbow guard, which he lost last night. Might be time to replace that the Velcro.
Get some sweat down here in the warm temperatures in Texas. Kind of flies off there.
Putting on a gun show every time he swings the bat.
There's Cole Calhoun. I mean, Cole Hamels. Cole would like to have that mustache working himself, I think.
Yeah. Two balls, 2 strikes. Beltre, the on deck circle. Well, on deck area, because he's nowhere near the circle. Getting a look. Has the napkin been proven to deflect the heat?
I think it's working.
If it's wet, it's because of sweat. 3-2. Mazara fouls it off. There's Beltre, almost directly behind home plate.
He's almost in the batter's box with Mazara.
Mazara skies one to right. Towering shot, chasing Cole back. He'll stay in the yard.
That's why I referenced Cole Calhoun with Cole Hamels. I knew that fly ball was going to work its way there.
2 outs. Brings up Beltre. Beltre walking to pop-up. 0 for 1. Three and 0. 2 out, 2-0. 2 out, 3-0 in this case.
In this ballpark, especially with that power on deck, that's something you do not want to do if you're J.C. Ramirez.
Fifth walk issued by Ramirez. That pitch nowhere near the strike zone. These are things to me that as he continues to learn to be a starter at the major league level, he's just got to stop. Just finish the inning.
Yeah, you got to continue to have that focus, and that's really been an issue for a number of the starters this season for the Angels. Get those quick outs, 2 quick outs, and all of a sudden the focus goes away, thinking you're through the inning, but it's not the case, and before long you have some base runners.
Gosh, go back to Friday night, the 10 runs that Texas scored on the board. All 10 runs scored with 2 outs. You're right, it has been an issue all season long. He's been able to get out of it so far today. Odor takes a strike. Ranger second baseman, a fly ball to left and a ground ball to short.
And I've always felt it's more of a, you lose focus, a little bit of a letdown. You think you're through the inning. You got to just keep that focus and keep it in your mindset is to still be the first batter of the game with that 3rd one.
Good off speed. One ball, 2 strikes with Beltre at first.
That slider, kind of a flat slider there from J.C. Ramirez, and Odor just brushed it foul.
Two balls, 2 strikes. Tails with 2 runs on 2 hits. 2 men left on base. Texas no runs, 2 hits, 1 error, 4 men left on. Odor goes down swinging. We'll head to the 7th inning with the Angels leading at 2-0.
Good fastball, 96 to get Odor swinging to finish off the inning. Correa today in Toronto. Not one, but two mammoth home runs. That's way out at Rogers Center. And then this one at dead center field as the Astros all over the Jays. 19-1. Correa has been red hot for the Houston Astros, as everybody else has been in that lineup for Houston this year.
Say JC Ramirez done after 6 innings today.
By the way, that was 148th home run as a team for the Astros today. 148 on the season. It's amazing what they've done swinging the bat.
They're averaging 7.13 runs, including today's game, on the road. 7.13 runs per game on the road. 713 is a Houston area code, if I'm not mistaken.
I guess that's why you're 33-11 on the road.
Valbuena hits one out toward deep right center field. DeShields racing toward the warning track, and he'll haul it in just in front of the 407 foot sign. Luis gave it a ride, but it's the first down here in the 7th.
We know DeShields can cover some ground. He's playing Valbuena slightly to hit the ball the other way. Had to go a long way to run that one down right in front of that 407 sign. Over the shoulder, makes the play before sliding into that wall. Hit well by Luis Valbuena.
Shortstop Andrelton Simmons.
Andrelton Simmons twice has struck out. Gallo into foul territory. 2 down.
Doesn't happen often, but Andrelton Simmons does not look comfortable at all today against Darvish. 2 strikeouts, and that swing right there pops it up to first.
Jose Leclerc getting ready. He's warmed up in this series. He's not pitched yet, though. The Angels have David Hernandez loosening in their bullpen. Ground ball to second. Halos down in order. Stretch time here in Arlington. Angels still up 2-0. friends. Only 3. Maybe going to the 2017 World Series thanks to T-Mobile. Make your picks at MLB.com/bracket challenge.
Thank you so much for that. And speaking of home run derby, now it's time for the Coors Banquet Timeless Moments. Back on this date, 2007, Vlad Guerrero won the home run derby. Coming to third Angel to win that. Wally Joyner in 86. Garrett Anderson back in 03. And Vlad Guerrero, got to be a proud papa himself, won the home run derby. Crushing the baseball, and in a tweet today, his son, Vlad Guerrero Jr. in the Futures game. Pretty cool for Vlad. Remember, he says, I remember when I took my son to see me play in the All-Star game today. He will play in the Futures game. God for the blessings for Vlad. They'll be able to see his son, Vlad Jr., play in the Futures game.
David Hernandez pitching in his 32nd game. No record at 2.83 ERA. Robinson, Chirinos, and Gallo 6, 7, and 8 for Texas here in the 7th, taking over for J.C. Ramirez, who ended up going 6 innings, walking 5, striking out 2, and allowing 2 hits.
Backdoor curveball from David Hernandez. Fastball 93, 95 range. Slider, changeup.
Robinson a ground out and a walk. 0 for 1. Both teams with 2 hits so far today. And down he goes. Gratterall will have to throw down to first to complete the strikeout. 1 out. Made it interesting.
Good all-speed pitch from David Hernandez. See Gratterall tapping the ground exactly where he wanted that break, a ball in the dirt. Keeps it in front, throws him out at first.
Second straight game that David has pitched in. Went 1 inning last night. Facing Chirinos here with 1 out. Ranger catcher 0 for 2. Two balls, no strikes. 5 walks issued by J.C., the most as a starter. Prior to that, he had walked 4 against Kansas City back on June 18th. We also had 6 strikeouts in that one. 2-1. J.C. with 2 strikeouts, 5 walks today.
Still, when you look at his stuff today, he had electric stuff, especially his fastball with movement. Best fastball today, 98-mile-an-hour fastball. He was settling in 95, 96, almost every single fastball. Dangerous spot with a fastball by Hernandez against Chirinos, who's got good power. 12 home runs.
And Chirinos goes down swinging at the breaking ball. So back-to-back strikeouts now for Hernandez. 2 outs.
That's that effective slider, especially after an elevated fastball. The pitch before followed up with a tight slider. You get a swing and miss. Going away, and then he went upstairs on some fastballs, back away. You get a swing and miss on a hard slider. Good pitch, good sequence there. Come back in that count to get a swing and miss for David Hernandez.
Here's Gallo with 2 outs, nobody on. He's walked twice so far today. Oh, what? 1 ball, 1 strike. Alex Claudio loosening for Texas. He threw 2 innings last night. Halos in the 8th of 8-9-1 coming up with Franklin, Gratterall, and Maben.
Yeah, especially after 2 innings pitched last night.
Got extended in that 9th when he gave up the run. 1-2. Two count with 2 outs. Full count. And Gallo works his 3rd walk again after a Angels pitcher gets ahead of him at 1-2. 3 walks today. Another 2-out walk. DeShields will bat here.
Yeah, 36 walks on the season for Gallo coming into the game with 112 strikeouts.
Bouncer toward 3rd. Escobar's got it. He'll go to 2nd and force out Gallo for the 3rd out. We'll head to the 8th inning. Halos up 2-0.
Right now, hanging on to a 2-0 lead as we head to the top of the 8th inning at Globe Life Park in Arlington. Ken French back with you. And don't forget, following this one is Angels Live, presented by your SoCal Mazda dealers with myself and Jose Mota. So, of course, bringing highlights of this one and look ahead to the upcoming homestand starting on Friday. But, fellas, look who I'm standing next to. It is the Rangers captain, the mascot for the Rangers. We're in the same place at the same time. So, yes, I am not the Rangers mascot, right? Right. That's not me. Dispelling rumors. That's what I'm doing today, dispelling rumors. We're back to you.
Thanks a lot, Frenchie. You are dispelling rumors. Could be your sibling, though. You guys look alike. A little bit.
No. I'm good. I'm shutting it down. Now.
Frenchie's gone. He's done. It's hot out there.
So that really wasn't Frenchie?
No. He's proved us wrong. Darvish back out for the 8th inning with the Angels up 2-0. 8-1.
I'm kind of disappointed. I thought it could have been.
What could have been? Franklin twice has walked today. The 8th place hitters in this game have 5 walks combined. Franklin and Joey Gallo. And for Gallo, it's his 2nd career 3-walk game. The other came in June of 2015. Franklin pops it up to Robinson. Puts it away, 1 down. Gratterall 0 for 1. He had a sac fly in the 5th inning. That extended the Angels' lead to 2-0. 6th RBI. Next pitch will be the 100th thrown by Darvish. Campadrosian getting ready. So Bud Norris will close.
A lot of extra running there for Juan Gratterall, getting out of the way of that up and in fastball.
Fourth walk issued by Darvish.
Cameron maybe coming to play, going back to my Hyundai key for this game, run to the hills, trying to find a way to manufacture another run, was able to do that. The Angels back into 5th inning, a single, couple stolen bases, mix in a walk and a sac fly. Albert Pujols with the home run in the 1st inning, but looking to add on here in the 8th with that walk to Juan Gratterall.
Cameron Maybin's 0 for 3. He's grounded out and struck out twice. Maybin lifts one out to right. This one hit pretty well, going to the wall, and Chu gets turned around. It'll fall in there, hits off the base of the wall. Gratterall had to hang up. Will only get to 3rd base. It's a double for Maybin.
That's a break. I look, could have been end up being a routine fly ball to the wall, but Chu got turned around, unable to catch that fly ball. A break for the Angels. High fastball. That at bat, it looked like using that lower half of his body a little bit better for Cameron Maybin and shorten up on his swing. Gets his ball to the wall, ends up being a double.
Darvish is going to get lifted here, it seems like, with Calhoun coming to the plate. So Darvish is done after 7 1/3. Ends up striking out 6, walking 4. He'll depart with runners at 2nd and 3rd. They belong to him. Alex Claudio looks like is coming in to face Cole. The Angels up 2-0, threatening for more. Chrysler Pacifica, the new benchmark of minivans. Test drive one at your local Chrysler dealership today. By Mercury Insurance, we're on a mission to save you money. Log on to mercuryinsurance.com to get a fast free quote and see how much you can save. Alex Claudio on in relief of Yu Darvish. With runners at 2nd and 3rd, 1 out. The Angels looking to extend their 2-0 lead. We're in the 8th with 1 out. Texas will play its infield in, or at least halfway. Now it looks like Odor's back a little bit. Everyone else near the cut of the grass. Gratterall, the base runner at 3rd base, may have been at 2nd. Double for him, his 16th of the year. Cole so far 0 for 3, 3 ground ball outs. Bouncer down the line that is just fouled. Darvish 3 hits and 7 1/3. That's in the 4 walks. 6 strikeouts.
Look at percentages of pitch for Claudio against a left-handed batter on an 0-1 count. Generally will try to throw that sinker again inside.
Jammed, a little flare down the 3rd base line, and it goes foul.
So throw that 0-2 changeup too, besides the sinker inside to a lefty.
Pujols on deck. This would be a 1-batter situation for Claudio, I'd imagine.
Cole looking for a pitch he can drive in the air to bring home. Gratterall from 3rd.
And he goes down chasing the breaking ball. 2 outs. So Claudio does his job. The clerk coming on now. So another pitching change. Runners remaining at second and third. Jose Leclerc will be called upon to try to get Albert Pujols. Keep the Rangers within 2 runs. Second pitching change of the 8th. 2-0 Angels. Hits today. Mabry with the double here in the 8th inning. Pujols a home run. Revere with a single. That's it. And now they need Albert Pujols to do something here against Jose Leclerc. Leclerc pitching in his 25th game. 1-2 record. A 3.24 ERA. 39 strikeouts. 15 walks in 25 innings of work.
Yeah, good fastball. 94, 98. Curveball, slider, and a changeup.
Albert 1 for 2. Also worked the walk in the 6th inning. And 2 pitches nowhere near the zone. 2-0.
Well, for Albert right now, you're sitting on a fastball.
Two 2-0 now. 3-0. Now they're going to intentionally walk Albert to load him up. Face Escobar with the bases loaded. 2 outs. Uni 0 for 3.
2-walk game for Albert Pujols, along with his home run in the 1st.
Escobar swinging first pitch, lofts one out to shallow right. Chu is there. And the Angels here in the 8th will leave them low to head to the bottom of the inning. Still up 2-0. Phillies at 7:07. Fans in attendance receive a pair of Trout number 27 socks, courtesy of Microsemi, while supplies last. For more information, go to angels.com.
Pretty solid looking. Something you would wear.
More multicolored than solid, but yeah, solid nonetheless. Bottom of the 8th. I got you back. You do that to me all the time.
What are you talking about?
2-0.
I know you're a big fan of socks.
Yeah. The worst is no socks, shoes. Especially in
The Tommy Hutton look?
Phil Tommy.
Yes, indeed. I see Mark Langston likes to mix that in a little
Does
bit.
he?
Yeah.
I'm sure that's refreshing. Cam Pedroia takes over here for David Hernandez. You look out to Cam's jersey. I don't know if you can tell. We can tell from up here. It's a different color than his pants. That's how soaked he is from warming up in the bullpen in left field.
And it's a little bit better than it used to be. He used to pitch towards that wall in center field. It was completely blocked from any error.
He hasn't thrown one pitch yet. Top of the order, Chu, Andrews, and Mazzara. Chu today 0 for 3, a strikeout and a couple of ground outs. David Hernandez, 1 inning, 2 strikeouts, 1 walk. Escobar in on the grass. 1-1. Cam got in there last night as well. 1 inning, 1 hit, 1 walk. One and 2. There's the 1-2. Downstairs, 2 balls, 2 strikes. 2 goes down swinging on the breaking ball. 1 away.
That's that nasty wipeout breaking ball from Cam Bedrosian to get that all-important first out here of the 8th inning. How sharp that break was to that slider slash curve slurve, really, when you think about it. 12-6 break on it, but it's a hard curve ball from Cam Bedrosian to get a swing and miss.
Elvis Andrus today, 3 ground ball outs to the left side of the infield. One ball, one strike. That's on the corner.
That's a perfect spot. Good fastball. Right on the corner. Great location.
One, 2. Off the plate. Evens the count up. Nomar Mazar is on deck. Beltre to follow if we get to that point. A home run by Pujols in the first. A sac fly by Graterol in the 5th. It's the only scoring thus far in this game. Total of 5 hits combined. That's it. Full count.
Some walks in this game, though.
Ten to be exact combined. Here's the payoff. Andrus lifts one to shallow right. Franklin going out. Calhoun coming in. Franklin taking charge. 2 outs.
By the way, it is a fantastic sweat that Cam Bedrosian's got working right now.
Too often you see that already with a guy, reliever, coming into a game worked up.
Doesn't take a whole lot down in that bullpen. There's not a lot of air down there. It's surrounded by cement.
2 outs, nobody on. Here's Nomar Mazara. 1 for 3 with a double in the 4th. Mazara lifts one out to center. Maybin coming in on it. Bedrosian with a 1-2-3-8. We head in the 9th with the Angels on top 2-0.
Dayton, no so far through 7. He's going back out to the 8th inning. It's his 99th pitch. Fly ball to right, finish it off. Colorado up 10-0. The no still intact. And he's from Denver. Family and friends there.
How about that? 2-0 here in the 9th inning. Luis Valbuena set to lead things off against Jose Leclerc. Simmons to follow, then Revere. Valbuena 0 for 3. Ground down, a strikeout, a fly ball to center. That's ripped out to right field. Shin-Soo Choo is going to watch this one sail over his head. One hops the fence, and it's a long single for Valbuena.
Looks like Mike Scioscia may indeed have a pinch runner here for Valbuena. Fastball in the inner half of the plate, turned on it well. He's hit a couple baseballs well in a row. Deep center field. And indeed, it looks like a base runner for Valbuena. Leads you to believe either going to have a straight steal or a hit and run with Anderson Simmons at the plate. Eric Young Jr. going to pinch run Valbuena.
Simmons is happy that Yu Darvish no longer in the game. 0 for 3. A couple of strikeouts and a pop-up. Eric Young Jr. 7 stolen bases, been caught 3 times. Halos had a golden opportunity in the 8th inning with the bases loaded to add to their 2-0 lead, but Escobar, the fly ball out to end the 8th. Young takes off.
Pretty big
straight
jump.
steal. Throws on the shortstop side, gets away from Andrews. Little contact there.
I think, boy, there was a situation where he might have got an opportunity to get up and go and advance.
Hunter Wendelstedt saying no.
Well, and Eric Young Jr. is wondering why. He just fell on him for no, just to prevent him from trying to get up and go to third. So try to be quick on the tag, and then just falls on him and makes contact.
I mean, there's absolutely no reason for Andrews to fall down on him.
I can see that's a late fall down.
No doubt.
He's even smiling when he's doing it.
That's kind of like World Cup soccer stuff right there. Simmons with a 1-0 count. 2-0. Stolen base number 8 for Eric Young Jr.
So Delino DeShields, stolen base today. Eric Young Jr. stolen base. Make both their fathers proud. The speed in this game.
High fastball, fouls it back, 2-1.
See that approach for Anderson Simmons. He's trying to drive the ball to right field. There's Delino DeShields who had a stolen base earlier in the game.
Two 2-1. 2-2. Anderson drives one out to left field.
That is going to get over the head of Mazzara. One hops the fence. Young will stroll home. RBI double for Andrelton Simmons. 3-0 Angels.
That big insurance run there by Andrelton Simmons. Got another fastball. This time was able to turn on it and rocket it to left center field. 21 doubles, 39 RBI on the season for Andrelton Simmons. Talked about his extra base hits this season, 31 now. 3 more than he had all of last year, getting that 2 toe tap down and then driving that ball 1 hop in the wall in left center field.
Ben Revere 1 for 3 game. A couple of stolen bases and a run scored. First one in for a strike.
Go back to that season when Simmons had 17 home runs, 50 extra base hits that year. On his way to breaking that record now with 31 here at the All-Star break. Back in 2013, 17 home runs, 50 extra base hits for Andrelton Simmons.
Much different player today than he was then. Simmons thinking about taking off, and that was almost a balk. And I say that because 2013, when he hit those 17 home runs, many felt that it changed him offensively. He became a much worse hitter over the several next seasons. And it turned things around last year. He's certainly taken a huge step forward this year. Second season with the Angels. 1 ball, 1 strike. Pickoff attempt. Simmons and a rundown. One down.
He was trying to time Leclerc, but Leclerc did a real good job of varying his look back to second, and finally enough patience to be able to throw back. Andrelton Simmons could not get back to the base, gets in a rundown, gets picked off. If he goes back, I don't think he's even going to throw the ball to second.
No. And I understand what he's trying to do there, but you're already in scoring position.
Especially with a speed guy like Ben Revere, who can handle the ball, bat well, can hit the ball on the ground to advance you.
1-1. 1-2. Tony Barnett loosening. Has not pitched in the series. Halos have Bud Norris getting ready for the 9th. Revere down, swinging, 2 outs.
Second baseman, Nick Franklin.
So it's Nick Franklin coming up. Franklin 2 walks and a pop-up, 0 for 1. I think the else pickoff does is allows Leclerc to just settle down. No stress. Have him on the ropes, back-to-back hits, open up an inning.
Exactly. In this ballpark, anytime you can add on, very important.
1 ball, 1 strike.
By the way, Freeland got through that 8th inning, still no hitter. Colorado.
Beltre, Odor, and Robinson coming up for Texas in the bottom of the ninth. Two now to Franklin. He'll hit this one to the right side. Odor to his left has it. And we'll head to the bottom of the ninth. The Angels get an insurance run here at the top of the inning. 3-0 Halos with Bud Norris coming in to try to close it out. Ball, stay connected with a fully customizable experience. Get Angels home screen icons and app features, as well as game day, live game video highlights, radio broadcast, statcast, news, and more. Download MLB.com at bat today. It's the bottom of the ninth. Angels up by the score of 3-0, and they turn the ball over to Bud Norris. Norris making his 37th appearance of the season. 1-2 with a 2.29 ERA, 12 saves. 46 strikeouts, 14 walks in 35 and a third innings. He is going to get Adrian Beltre, Ruben Odor, and Drew Robinson. The Rangers half of the ninth, just trying to salvage the finale of this third-game set.
That extra run really big in this inning, especially with the part of the order coming up. C.J. Cron over at first base now after Luis Valbuena was pinch run for by Eric Young Jr. Good numbers for Beltre in his career against Bud Norris. 300 batting average with 2 home runs.
Beltre 2 walks and a pop-up is 0 for 1. Here's 1-1. Beltre fouls it back, 1-2. Five hits for the Angels, 2 for Texas. JC Ramirez, no runs, 6 innings. 2 hits, 2 strikeouts, 5 walks. Hernandez, Bedrosian, 1 scoreless each. Norris trying to finish it up. Beltre reaching for it, fouls it off. Spoiled a pretty good pitch. All-star break upon us. Matter of fact, the Futures game currently being played right now at Marlins Park. Home Run Derby tomorrow. And then on Fox Tuesday night, the All-Star game. There's Odor. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Full count.
Overthrowing cut fastball from Bud Norris. We don't want to give this Ranger lineup any life here in the 9th.
Three-two now. Beltre fouls back that high fastball.
A little bit out of the strike zone also. This pitch will be pitch number 9 to Beltre from Bud Norris.
Bouncer to third. That's a fair ball. Escobar across the diamond. Low throw. Crone's got it. 1 down.
Good scoop there by C.J. Cron and good play by Escobar. Now it's time for the Land Rover above and beyond player of the game, J.C. Ramirez. Very good stuff today. Just 2 hits allowed in 6 shutout innings. Had been struggling as far as his ERA his previous 7 starts, but that's not the case today. Had it working, especially that ground ball action, 95, 96, even 98 with his heater today for J.C. Ramirez. So she loved what he saw from J.C. Ramirez, especially considering the questions about how long he could let him continue to start as far as pitches, innings, most ever in the big leagues for J.C. Ramirez, but very solid here today.
Odor hitless today, 0-3. Fly ball to left, a ground out and a strikeout. 0-1. Time called by Odor. 1-2.
A good hard slider from Bud Norris. He'll throw his cut fastball and his slider. Fastball has been very consistent out of the bullpen, 94, 95.
Here's the 1-2. Down goes Odor. 2 down.
Real good late movement on that fastball. Starts middle part of the plate, runs off there at 95.
Drew Robinson, the starting third baseman today, with Beltre DHing at the plate. He's 0 for 2 with a walk. One and one. Norris walking off the mound. Something distracted him or upset him. So Gratterall's got to make the visit.
Like Mike Scioscia was talking to Charles Nagy about something just to make sure that physically okay.
Off the plate. Two-one count with 2 outs. Hit to the right side, should do it. Franklin is there. Light that baby up as the Angels salvage the finale of this 3-game set by the final of 3-0.
Solid, well-pitched game today for the Halos and Mike Scioscia's club. JC Ramirez picks up his 8th victory, but Norris 13th save. Also some good bullpen work from David Hernandez once again, and Cam Bedrosian. Solid, the bullpen overall very solid in the first half. Angels will be able to win this one, the final game here of this 3-game set, 3-0. Albert Pujols, big fly in the first.
Yeah, 7th shutout for the Angels before the All-Star break, the most they've had since getting 12 before the break in